Fairfax County, the heart of Northern Virginia, the abdomen of the Commonwealth, the brains of the D.C. metropolitan area, the appendix of the, well, you get the idea. With an area of 406 square miles and a population of over 1.1 million men, women, and children, Fairfax has been at the epicenter of American history for 275 years. But how did we get here? And where on earth are we going? The year is 1742, and rumors of a county begin to brew. Prince William County continues to grow, and there's just no way to keep the status quo.
William Fairfax makes a plan. He travels to the capital, demand in hand.
Prince William County just won't do. I've got a mandate here saying split it in two.
The assembly sits and says they'll think it through.
Well?
I mean, I don't really care. Go for it,
yeah.
Woo! And with that, Fairfax is founded. At first, there's not much there, just a couple of dirt roads and a few confused colonists. But ever so slowly, infrastructure begins to develop. Before you know it, there are churches, post offices, and even more confused colonists. Farmers make a living growing tobacco and other colonial crops. George Washington moves to Mount Vernon and hangs out there for a while. And for 2 centuries, Fairfax is an idyllic agricultural paradise.
Then this part gets really strange. Fairfax County begins to change. It shifts and moves and urbanizes, builds some roads and mobilizes, starts to grow and liberalizes, decades later modernizes.
Preston, Florist, Lorden, Herndon, Tysons, Fair Oaks, Merton, Oakton, Annandale, and Fairfax Station, other census designations.
Mason, Parker, Hanson, Ellis, Hendricks, Blandley, Ann, McCandless, Connolly, and Washington. Names that just go on and on. Oxford, Main Street, Zion, Guinea, Braddock, Duke Street, Henry, 50s, Fairfax, Buckwheat, Dolly, Matt. Traffic shouldn't be this bad. Hayfield, South Lake, Surgeon, Lightly, Falls, Woodson, and Chantilly, Robinson, and Westfield High, Mescals, that money can buy. Freddy's, Bryant's, Ben, Jerry's, Kava, Sisters, and Pink Mary, Cruz, Cohen, Chipotle, not to mention Chick-fil-A. Moving, driving, parking, striding, waiting, owning, stopping, riding, stop on those who are. Fairfax is our home. 275, Fairfax continues to thrive. And oh, it may seem like we are done, but our story's just begun.
Let's go back to where it began, and maybe we can understand. Finally understand. Possibly understand. Fairfax. A Fairfax. A Fairfax. Fairfax. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Complete History of Fairfax the Musical. We are so pleased that there are so many of you here in attendance tonight.
Wow, look at all these people. I thought the only people that cared about Fairfax County were in this show.
Well, I told you, Sam, Fairfax has a wide public appeal.
Wait, does this mean we actually have to perform the show? I was just gonna go watch Bob Ross if no one showed up.
Hey, Daniel, what you doing there, bud?
I'm asserting my dominance over the audience.
Okay.
I need to feel powerful to perform.
Right. Anyways, welcome to on this lovely July evening to celebrate the founding of America's most important and prosperous county. First, some introductions. My name is Lauren Durand. I am a history and theater double major at the College of William and Mary. And I am the writer, composer, director, choreographer, producer, and MC of this show. Oh. With me are Sam Schwartz. Hello. Mark Stevenson, lovable goofball.
Hi, guys.
And Daniel Weiss.
Hey.
Then we have Chris on the piano. And finally, we have Alex and Andy up there in the booth. Everybody wave hi to Alex.
Alex.
Hey guys, please never acknowledge me ever again.
Oh, sorry. He's a tech guy. He doesn't like people.
That's a stereotype, but true.
We all have different backgrounds, come from different colleges, have different majors, different tolerances for human interaction. But there is one thing that brings us together. We are Fairfaxians. No, it's Fairfaxians. That's what we decided in rehearsal, right, Alex?
Yes, please stop talking to me.
Oh, yeah, sorry, my bad.
Well, I think Fairfaxer sounds better.
I agree.
I wholeheartedly do not.
Well, isn't it weird that we don't have our own proper noun, like a Bostonian or New Yorker?
No, we do. Sam, it's Fairfaxer.
Oh, what about Fairfax Site?
What?
Fairfax Site, it has a nice ring to it, like neophyte.
While they discuss the finer points of linguistics, you might be asking yourselves why a group of college students would spend their summer performing a musical about Fairfax County, of all places.
Could it be that this summer is the 275th anniversary of Fairfax County's founding?
And that you think it's a crime that the history of Fairfax County remains largely unknown to the vast majority of Fairfaxites?
Fairfaxians.
Fairfaxians?
That's right. 275 years ago this summer, the seed that was to become Fairfax County was planted by the strong and capable hands of the Fairfax family. Though it began as a simple farmers' community, throughout the next 250 years, it has grown into the thriving suburban metropolis that we know and love today. The story of Fairfax County isn't just the story of Northern Virginia. It's the story of America. Which is why it absolutely astounds me that no one knows anything about the history of Fairfax.
Audience probably knows plenty about Fairfax.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, let's find out. Hey, Alex, can you bring up the house lights? Hey, everybody. Let's see. Easy one first. Can someone here tell me who Fairfax County is named after? Hey!
They know too much. We need to get out while we still can.
Calm down, Mark. That's entry-level information. Anybody could have known that. Let's see. I bet that they don't know who Antonia Ford is, or what duel happened in McLean in the early 1800s. So you see, there's still a lot that the audience doesn't know about Fairfax, which is why I highly recommend that everybody reads this. Fairfax County, A History, written in 1992 for the 250th anniversary.
Well, geez, that thing's a brick. No wonder nobody's read it.
Yeah, I think I've seen phone books smaller than that.
As much as your sentiments pain me, you are right. Nobody has read this book, except for me, which is why I have taken it upon myself to write the most entertaining of historical events into the most entertaining of theatrical forms.
The musical comedy.
So please, sit back, relax, and join us as we learn about spies, war, suffragists, duels, local legends, and
Sadie the Cow!
No, not Sadie the Cow.
Why not?
We cut that song.
But I wrote it.
I know. That's why we cut it. What? I mean, look, it didn't fit with the flow of the show.
Gotcha. Cool.
So please, join us as we look back at where we came from, and more importantly, see just where we're going. We now present to you the Complete History of Fairfax, the musical, starting now.
Our story begins in 1608. Fairfax County is yet to be colonized by the British settlers. Instead, the land belongs to the various Native American tribes that live along the Chesapeake Bay. One tribe in particular populates what will be known as Mason Neck, the Dogue Indians. Living in communal longhouses and farming nearby land, the Dogues live peacefully along the Occoquan River until one fateful day in 1608 when a certain British settler arrives. Tall, handsome, and loved by second-grade history teachers everywhere, it is none other than
Captain John Smith.
From an early age, John Smith was struck with wanderlust, leading him to search the furthest corners of the world. This resulted in him being, among other things, sold as a Turkish slave, knighted as a Transylvanian prince, and eventually leading to the New World. But for such a worldly man, John Smith never really felt at home. Until now.
Drop. Until now, I could hardly conceive it. Now it's here, and the forest and the sand. 12. I did west by this wonderful notion that the years by endless devotion would lead. Virginia, oh Virginia, my home across the sea. For once I truly know that I'm where I'm meant to be. I never liked old England, cold tea and rainy skies. This new world's more my tempo, so say goodbye to European customs, beer and fancy wines. Now there's only farming. It suits me, I think it suits me fine.
You're the last of our hardtack. You know, it doesn't really look like we have enough to... Look! People! On the shore!
Oh, hey, what do you know?
Huh! Guess this land's already populated. Suppose we can't claim it as our own anymore.
Right, sure.
Ooh, what should we call them?
Indians.
Really? Because I was thinking more along the lines of Native Americans.
Nope, definitely Indians.
You know, I've met people from India, and that's definitely not what they look like.
I reject your reality and substitute my own. Besides, they won't be here much longer.
What do you mean?
We can't expand the British Empire if a bunch of Indians are occupying the land. We've got to get rid of them. The sooner the better.
Hey, Captain, here's a question. Why must we take their land? I'm sure they've been here longer. It's not ours to command.
Now, sailor, let's be rational. There's no need to discuss. We are the Europeans, so this land belongs to us. The splendid Blue Ridge Mountains, oysters in the bay, everything in sight, it's all for me, all for me. We'll make these natives go away.
But maybe we could just share the land and maybe not steal it. Work with them, talk with them, we'll make it work. I feel it.
I've searched so long for this
Not
land.
your land.
Now it's here, now it's mine.
No way.
You want to give it all up.
Wrong.
Your plan's so asinine. You
I
want to
think it's
work with
beneficial
natives,
to
swap knowledge, build some trust. They'll
If we
need to play
attempt
by
to
my
know them,
rules.
then
I'll make them all adjust to men with
oysters by the
metal
buckets,
muskets,
native
English
dialects.
dialects.
We will treat them kindly
if
we'll
they
show
just,
them,
if they
we'll show
just
them, we'll
embrace
show
my
them
culture
broad
with respect. All right, let's go talk to them.
After establishing relations with the Dogues, John Smith returns to England, having successfully opened the doors to the New World. Englishmen flocked to Virginia, bringing with them diseases, new weapons, and an insatiable desire for Native American land. Violence between the Dogs and the English is common, with a 1675 trade deal gone wrong, resulting in the death of dozens of Native Americans at the hands of the Virginia militia. By the mid-1700s, the Dogs have left Mason Neck, never to return, and the land they once lived on has eroded into the Occoquan River. Waterways are named in honor of such lost tribes: Dogue, Pohick, Accotink, and Occoquan, but nothing will ever bring them back.
Men with metal muskets, English dialect, we will treat them kindly. We'll show them nothing but respect.
That got unnecessarily dark.
Well, yeah, Mark. British colonialism is no laughing matter. Why does he... Never mind.
So that's how Fairfax County was founded? White people kicked out the Dogs?
Well, yes and no. Shortly after Smith's visit to the Northern Neck, farmers began to populate the region, calling it Prince William County. Nothing much happened here between 1620 and 1740.
Hey, Bill.
Hey, Joel.
How you doing?
Good.
Same. So, what you up to?
Farming.
How you liking it?
Enough.
Same. Well, isn't living in Fairfax County great?
What?
Oh, right. Fairfax County isn't a thing yet. This is still Prince William County.
Okay, whatever.
Well, I just love living in a rural farming community.
Just stop.
Okay.
But starting in 1742, local government realized that the population was too much for them to handle. Recognizing the issue, William Fairfax went down to Williamsburg and got the mandate to form Fairfax County.
And that's when Fairfax County became the thriving metropolis we know and love today, right?
It's stayed a rural farming community for another 2 centuries. Since then, Fairfax has had its share of notable residents, including George Mason, Richard Bland Lee, Julianne Moore, Jason Sudeikis, Christopher McCandless, and, you get the gist. But perhaps the most famous resident of Fairfax is none other than America's founding father himself, George Washington, a war hero, a president, and a pretty awesome tobacco farmer. George Washington's legacy has loomed large, not just over Fairfax, but over the entire United States. But for as much as he's been mythologized, we often forget that there was a man underneath this powdered wig. He was a farmer, a philosopher, a friend, even a lover. And just like us, he had his share of relationship issues. The year is 1759. A young George Washington is a week away from his wedding day. Before he goes to New Kent County to meet his fiancée, George sits down to write a letter. The recipient? Sally Fairfax, a local socialite that George met as an adolescent. Charmed by her intelligence and popularity, George maintained a close friendship with Sally throughout his young adult years. But today, when he's about to tie the knot, he must reckon with some unwelcome feelings.
My dear dearest Sally Fairfax, what's there to say? What's there to write? I am compelled to tell you I am engaged. I wed her tonight, a pretty young widow from a family of means. Her name's Martha Custis, she's nice, but it seems that she's not the one. Remember when I met you, how I was nervous when we shook hands. We chatted all the evening. I made you laugh, you made me dance. I was enamored by a woman so smart. From that first encounter, I knew in my heart that you were the one. Sally, Sally, I wish it wasn't true. Sally, Sally, I'm still in love with you. Sally, Sally, Martha's the girl for me. Sally, Sally, don't you think I can see? Martha is beautiful, Martha has class. Martha is everything I could have asked. Still you are haunting me, tearing my heart. If I cannot end this, then I cannot start loving Martha. Loving Martha. Sally, Sally, oh how I miss your touch. Sally, Sally, far too much, far too much. Sally, Sally, and all this misery. Sally, Sally, just one more dance with me.
And now, a brief poetry slam interlude, highlighting the importance of post offices to growth and development in colonial Fairfax.
When you are but a new county, legitimacy can be hard. For how can you have a government if you can't even send a card? When Hick Post Office was founded, the came civilized. Then came Drainsville, Chantilly, Kirk Station and Langley, Colchester and Herndon, Lincolnia, Bull Run, Great Falls, Florist, Gunston, Vale, Norton, and Oakton. And that's how Fairfax modernized.
Revolution!
The wildfire of innovation erupts across the colonies, with every coffeehouse filled to the brim with intellectuals and leaders ready to break ground and create a nation heretofore unseen.
Then, in 1773, the flint and steel that was the Tea Act lit the fuse that snaked its way into Northern Virginia.
For you see, before the Boston Tea Party stole our thunder, a smaller but mighty Fairfax Tea Party, situated in an influential family's ancestral home, rocked a small portion of the eastern seaboard.
The visiting British officers hoped for a nice tea and chat with some genteel members of society by the fireplace. They were not, however, expecting the inferno of a property owner's scorn.
As George Mason probably said, they can take our lives, but they cannot take more than 5% of our income through taxes on non-necessary goods.
So they set the trap and waited, holding breath in their lungs and fire in their hearts.
Hey, what are we doing for the Revolutionary War bit again? I didn't get the last revision on it.
This is for your taxes!
We don't need
Hey,
you
you
anymore.
Throw it in a harbor or something!
We don't have a harbor nearby.
But we have the Potomac.
To the river!
Hey, what are you guys? No, so what? Stop! Hey!
What are you doing?
We were just trying to spice things up.
But this isn't even factual. This has nothing to do with Fairfax or the Revolutionary War. And plus, we need Daniel for the rest of the show.
We were just trying to follow our instincts.
Yeah, we were just trying to explore the space.
You guys are jerks.
Unfortunately, nothing of note happened in Fairfax during the Revolutionary War. It was home to too many leaders of the revolution, so they steered the conflict toward places they didn't care about, like Yorktown or Lexington. It was only after the Revolutionary War that Fairfax was able to contribute to our nation. You see, after the Revolutionary War, we had to figure out a place for the capital to be. But finding a location for this capital proved surprisingly difficult. Do we settle in Philadelphia? New Jersey, maybe? New York? Maryland?
And here was born the famous line used by sales pitching real estate agents today.
Location, location, location.
Thanks, guys. That's right. The location of the capital changed many times, bouncing from Philly to Trenton to New York, until it finally decided on what is now D.C. In order to supplement the swampy marsh they chose to build on, land was to be taken away from the surrounding areas, including from us here in Fairfax.
Boy, oh boy, I sure love being Fairfax County.
Well, hey there, Fairfax County.
How are you doing, newly established District of Columbia?
I'm just going to need to take some land from you real quick.
But I was here.
Well, that's big government for you.
Well, if this is the price I must pay for freedom, and I guess this is fine.
Our neighbors. But hey, at least it was a shorter commute for Thomas Jefferson.
We're going to have to fact-check that one, Sam.
Still, the fates of Fairfax and D.C. have been oddly intertwined since then. For example, the year is 1826. The plate, Washington, D.C. John Quincy Adams is the president, and Henry Clay
Good day.
is his Secretary of State. Known as the Great Compromiser, Henry Clay spent his formative years in Kentucky, where he developed oratory skills by speaking to animals in the forest. Now he speaks to beasts of a different kind, members of the United States Senate. Today, he is trying to convince his fellow senators to send American delegates to the Panamanian Congress of Latin American Republics to discuss trade and other matters. It's a surprisingly contentious issue.
My name is Henry Clay, and I'm in disarray. The measure that I wrote is in the Senate, now we must vote. It's not about a law, it's about Panama, and strengthening our trade among our allies for the decade. It shouldn't be this hard, but every action's barred by that Randolph blowhard. He wants to throw it all away just because their Congress bans slaves.
Mr. Clay, the floor is now yours.
Thank you. Now, gentlemen, I understand that there are some countries attending the conference that have made questionable decisions regarding certain trade practices, but I believe that American representation is necessary in
Pardon
this
me,
situation.
Mr. Clay, but these questionable trading practices are a threat to our way of life. Our Our attendance at the conference signals that we support their ban on slavery, which, believe me, Clay, I do not.
Mr. Randolph, if you continue prattling on like a child, I'm afraid someone will have to escort you to the playground.
John Randolph.
Hi.
John Randolph was born in Hopewell, Virginia. Childhood tuberculosis kept Randolph going through puberty, leaving him beardless and with an unusually high-pitched voice. However, this does not stop Randolph from being elected to the Senate in 1825, where his heavy drinking and questionable fashion choices cement his outsider status. He is pro-slavery and very much against the conference.
My name is John Randolph. I'm stuck in a standoff with that old Henry Clay. His measures economic doomsday. Our whole economy depends on slavery. If we support these nations, we support emancipation. Clay's too dumb to see so. It's all up to me. I'll save democracy by verbally assaulting Clay. I'm sure there is no better way.
Finally, John is given the chance to debate the Panamanian Congress of Latin American Republics. He takes the opportunity to attack not only the conference, but Henry Clay himself. It goes about as well as you'd expect.
Clay's a nut, he's a fraud, he's a black-legged liar, mangling our trade as he desires, putting this Senate in a wretched situation. Henry Clay has laid a cuckoo's egg that's blowing like a powder keg. Do you think it's wise we pass this legislation? I regret if I'm rude, but I can't let this go, Mr. Henry Clay. My vote is no.
Clay does not respond to this kindly.
This man's my enemy. He's made a fool of me. Randolph has gone insane. He's publicly decried my good name. That prepubescent louse slanders me in my house. He's crossed the line this time. I'll make him suffer for this word crime. How could he stoop so low and strike this awful blow? Can I ignore him? No, his taunts are too obscene and cruel. I have no choice, it's time to duel.
For those of you who have yet to see Hamilton, a duel is when two people shoot at each other as a means of defending their respective reputations. They are often declared over letter.
Too obscene and cool. I have no choice. It's time to duel. He has no right to send this. I have only spoken the truth. Why, that Henry Clay.
Of course, according to the code, duel does not necessarily have to accept a duel.
You're on, Clay.
That's never stopped anyone before. Besides, both men have a history of dueling. As a student at the College of William and Mary, Henry Clay was nearly suspended for dueling with another student.
Go Tribe!
Both men quickly make arrangements. John Randolph requests that the duel take place in McLean, Virginia.
If I am going to die, I want my blood to be shed on the soil of home.
Randolph clearly has high hopes for the duel. Of course, dueling is illegal in Virginia, but everyone is willing to turn a blind eye for some good old death and bloodshed. Finally, the day comes. On April 8, 1826, John Randolph and Henry Clay meet in a field in McLean, Virginia. John Randolph decides to wear a white bathrobe because, you know, nobody knows why he's in a bathrobe. Randolph is just weird that way.
I heard that.
Sorry.
Now I know that this isn't either of y'all's first rodeo, but let me reiterate the rules. You will each receive a pistol, and when I instruct you to, you will take 10 steps away from each other. On that 10th step, you may turn and fire your weapon. If either of you break these rules and live to tell the tale, there will be consequences, understand? Good. Now please take your pistol. Remember, these have hairpin triggers, so be careful when handling the...
Oh! Ah! Sorry! I've never used a hairpin trigger before. I didn't realize that they went off so easily, and I
fine.
don't think...
It's fine. Let's just get this over with. May I have a brief word with you?
can take him by surprise. And when all is said and done, I don't have to die.
The officiator has informed me that this is definitely illegal, so let's just get this done with before anybody catches us.
Right! Right!
Please stand back to back. 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, 4 step, 5 step, 6 step, 7, 8, 9 step, 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, 4 step, 5 step, 6 step, 7, 8, 9 step, 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, 4 step, 5 step, 6 step, 7, 8, 9 step, 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, 4 step, 5 step, 6 step, 7, 8, 9 step, 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, 4 step, 5 step, 6 step, 7, 8, 9 step, 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, 4 step, 5 step, 6 step, 7, 8, 9 step, 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, 4 step, 5 step, 6 step, 7, 8, 9 step, 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, 4 step, 5 step, 6 step, 7, 8, 9 step, 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, 4 step, 5 step, 6 step, 7, 8, 9 step, 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, 4 step, 5 step, 6 step, 7, 8, 9 step, 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, 4 step, 5 step, 6 step, 7, 8, 9 step, 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, 4 step, 5 step, 6 step, 7, 8, 9 step, 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, 4 step, 5 step, 6 step, 7, 8, 9 step, 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, 4 step, 5 step, 6 step,
guys.
Step 3, step 4, step 5, step 6, step
I
7, 8,
don't
9,
have
step...
to. Woo! Tuh!
You shot your pistol at the sky!
You shot my favorite bathrobe. We'll call it a draw.
Throughout the early 19th century, tensions grow between the northern and southern states. The abolitionist movement, once a fringe political notion, moves to the forefront of the public conscience, leading to squabbles like the nullification crisis in South Carolina. For reasons not concerning Fairfax and therefore not covered here, these clashes culminate in a grand spectacle, finally causing South Carolina to break the bonds tying our sacred union together. In other words,
As more southern states follow suit and leave the Union, Virginia is caught in the middle, especially poor little Fairfax. Technically below the Mason-Dixon line, Virginia isn't convinced that it should leave its northern brethren until 1861.
Thank you for coming to this emergency town hall meeting. So what I'm hearing is we're staying in the Union.
Sure,
Okay,
why not?
let me go tell those bigwigs down in Richmond.
Excuse me, miss. I've just got this letter from President Lincoln. He wants us to deploy our troops and retake Fort Sumter to suppress the rebellion.
Hey, that sounds kind of tyrannical.
Yeah, you can't make me send my babies.
Yeah, we shouldn't be forced to deploy our troops just because the president says so. We need to secede for states' rights.
Yeah,
Yeah,
states' rights.
States' rights.
Okay, this is taking a turn. Anybody have questions before we vote on secession? Yes, you there in the white.
Yes, how are we gonna move the state?
What?
Well, you said we're gonna be separate, right? So we're just gonna attach a state to some mules and have the mules drag it away because I don't think it'll be strong enough, quite frankly.
I don't No.
Okay.
Okay, all those in favor of seceding.
I, for one, feel we've already been very successful. I mean, we've founded like 10 post offices already.
Secede, not succeed, for the love of... Okay, all those in favor of seceding, please say aye.
I guess so.
So that is 945 for, and 289 against. So there we have it.
Does that mean we won't succeed?
Only time will tell. And it sure does. A few short months later, the Civil War comes to Fairfax County, specifically Centerville. On a hot July day, civilians hitch up their horses and get their children for some wholesome family fun. The first major land battle of the Civil War.
Situated about 5 miles outside of what would later be called Bull Run, the carnival-like atmosphere is rife with speculation. But everyone knows this will be a decisive victory for the Union and a swift end to this short uprising.
Hey, I can't see anything.
Be quiet, it's about to start.
Anna, be nice to your brother. It's his first battle.
Well, he doesn't have to be such a baby about it.
Okay, everybody, I have our sign right here. Now we're cheering for those little guys down there in blue, okay?
I'm
Okay.
bored. How long is this going to take?
Oh, it shouldn't take long. The battle is more of a formality than anything. The war will be over within the hour. Just you wait.
Oh, golly gee, I think I see General Lee. I love you!
Oh, Anna! We are a strictly Union family. No cheering for General Lee.
But he's so dreamy.
Hush now! They're starting! Yes!
Oh my god. Ew!
This is not PG.
Oh, my lord! Oh! The battle ends in Union defeat, though it can be wondered if anybody really wins with 4,700 casualties and losses. But,
And they say video games cause violent tendencies.
Fairfax continues to be involved in the Civil War, whether through battles, leadership, or even espionage, from those you'd least expect. The year is 1863, 2 years into the Civil War. Fairfax is currently under Union occupancy, with local families sheltering Northern soldiers in their homes. One such household belongs to Edward R. Ford, a prominent local merchant and secessionist. Though he is off fighting the war, his wife and daughter remain at home. You see, the Fairfax courthouse is situated directly across from his house, so it was the perfect place for Union soldiers to meet and discuss strategy. However, there is a drawback. It just so happens that there is a Confederate spy in their midst, and she is about to wreak havoc.
Antonia Ford, Antonia Ford, Antonia Ford.
Antonia Ford, spying for Confederates and playing landlord. I started spying, doing my part in the law. I serve the general's tea as they chat in front of me. They say,
I'm sleeping in the courthouse.
so I ride to Jeb Stewart's house. So bring some support, but he shouldn't put up too much of a fight.
Thank you, Antonia. I'll send General Mosby to get him today. I'd like you to know that you are making the Confederacy proud. To show our gratitude, here is an official letter declaring you an honorary official of our staff.
Well, sir, I am truly honored. But don't you think it's a little incriminating for a spy to have a letter like this?
No, just, put it under your mattress. There's no way anybody'll find it there.
Okay.
Yes, who is it?
Union messenger, sir.
Oh, yes, of course, come in.
Sir, do you know who General Mosby is?
Yes, I do. Have they caught him?
No, sir, I'm afraid he's caught you!
Besides kidnapping General Stoughton, they also captured 2 captains, 30 prisoners, and 58 horses. And to top it all off, not a single shot was fired. Antonia was feeling pretty pleased with herself.
Antonia Ford, kicking some butt for the South and the Lord. Come in.
Yes, is this the Ford household?
Yes, it is.
And are you Antonia, daughter of Edward?
I am indeed.
Yeah, you're under arrest for spying on the Union.
What? A spy? I would never do anything to betray the Union.
Oh, really?
Besides, you have no evidence whatsoever.
Well then, how do you explain this?
Where did you find that?
What, you think a house full of Union soldiers wouldn't search the premises on a weekly basis?
But isn't that technically illegal under the Constitution?
Oh, okay, I get it. So first you secede because you hate the Constitution. Oh, it's the worst thing ever. There's no stage fright. Blah, blah, blah. But then the second you're in a little trouble, oh, you come running back. Oh, Lordy, please, Mr. Constitution, help me.
All right.
Yeah.
I get it. Let's go.
Antonia is brought to the old Capitol prison, where she is charged with treason and spying. Newspapers around the country condemn her for her actions, and it looks like she might be punished with death. That is until a certain someone arrives.
Right, prisoner number 22032, you are to be held without bail until a trial can be set, wherein you...
Union Provost Marshal Joseph Willard.
Hey,
Hey.
so you're the marshal of this jail?
Yep. And you're the spy I've heard about.
Can't confirm that.
Right. Pardon me, ma'am, but you have the most beautiful
Keys.
eyes.
Eyes, I totally meant eyes.
When opposites attract and worlds collide, there's no turning back, there's nowhere you can hide. Behind these prison bars, you have the key to open up my heart. So baby, set it free when worlds collide. Antonia, I realize that we've only just met, and that I'm literally the one responsible for keeping you prisoner here. But will you marry me?
Oh, why? I don't know what to say. What did you say your name was again?
I didn't, but it's Willard, Joseph Willard, and I promise that I will get you out of this jail, and we will live a long and happy life together. What do you say?
Maybe.
I will love you more than life itself. Nobody else could make me feel this way. In this prison I will make the vow to love you now and for all the other days.
Do I really love him? Who's to say he's union scum, but he looks okay, and I can't be picky at the end of the day, 'cause he's the only one who can get me away from this jail.
I will love you more than life itself.
I love you too.
Nobody else could make me feel this way.
Once we get out of this stinking jail, I'll don my veil and prepare to be your bride. Ooh.
7 months later, Antonia signs a loyalty oath with the Union and is released. On March 10th, she marries Joseph Willard, almost a year after Stoughton's kidnapping. The couple settles down in Washington, D.C., where they run the famous Willard Hotel. Antonia is never quite healthy and dies 7 years later at the age of 33. She's buried in Oak Hill Cemetery. But history will never forget the legend of Antonia Ford.
Antonia Ford, Antonia Ford, Antonia Ford.
And now, to summarize the interesting events that occurred in Fairfax between the 1860s and the 1920s, it's time for a rousing game of Jeopardy! We'll start off with Sam.
I'd like basic common sense knowledge for 100.
Oh, don't get too ambitious now. The Civil War ended in this year.
What is 1865?
That is correct.
I'd like extraneous knowledge that is only mildly related to Fairfax County, but still worth mentioning for 400, please.
This group of anti-alcohol crusaders arrived in Annandale in 1886. They're often mistaken for the minor characters in the first National Treasure film. Yes, Mark.
Oh shoot, I don't know this one.
I don't.
What is the International Order of Good Templars?
That is correct.
Yes! Okay, I'll take People who should be known just because they have such zesty names for 400.
This entertainer, located out of Bailey's Crossroads, bought the first elephant from overseas to found Barnum and Bailey's, one of the first circuses in the country.
Who is Hecaliah Bailey?
That is correct.
I'd like deadly weather phenomena for 300.
This snowstorm killed upwards of 100 people over the course of the winter of 1922. Lauren.
What is the Bickerknocker snow?
Oh, I'm sorry, that is incorrect.
What? But I'm never wrong.
Oh, I'm sorry, Lauren. I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to leave the stage.
But that's not how Jeopardy works.
My rules, Lauren. Deal with it.
Does anyone else have a correct answer? Mark?
Oh, I just had it. Right on the tip of my tongue. What is the Knickerbocker snow?
That is correct.
Yes, I'm on a roll. Okay, I'll take things people should generally know, but for some reason don't, for 200.
This prison housed suffragists in 1917, inspiring the film Iron-Jawed Angels. Come on, really? None of you? The answer is, what is the Occoquan Workhouse? Yeah, nice going, guys. You see, Fairfax County actually played a pivotal role in the U.S. women's suffrage movement, and although most of you might not know it, County's greatest contribution to equality, freedom, and civil rights across the country. The year is 1917. The U.S. women's suffrage movement has been fighting for voting rights for over 50 years. Such pioneers as Susan B. Anthony, Margaret Fuller, Elizabeth Cady Stanton, and Lucy Stone have paved the way for 20th century feminists. But they have reached a roadblock. With World War I shifting attention away from domestic issues, suffragists find themselves unable to draw the support of President Woodrow Wilson, who famously says,
The issue has never been brought to my attention.
but suffragists are not content to sit and wait. Members of the National Women's Party, the first women's political party, begin silently picketing outside the White House. These protests are led by Alice Paul and Lucy Burns. Lucy Burns was born in New York and studied at Oxford University. She brings a rebellious spirit to the movement, resulting in a more active, polarizing group. And for the first time, the president takes notice. The women are arrested outside the White House for obstructing traffic. They are then sent to the Occoquan Workhouse, where they are brutally beaten upon their arrival. This event, known as the Night of Terror, not only shocks the nation, it forever changes Lucy Burns.
You be quiet tonight. I don't want to hear a peep out of you.
Dora? Abby? Lewis? Are you there? Are you all right? Ow. Hours ago, we were there in D.C., fighting for suffrage, for our liberty. Bloody and beaten, so dark I can't see. Is there anyone here, or is it just me? I led them to jail, it's all my fault. Am I to blame for their assault? I promised change, I took the lead, but how can I march? I can't even see. A voice in the dark, that's all that I need. Just one little spark to set us all free. We need to be heard, our rights will be known. A voice in the dark, a voice all alone. Am I alone? Please, is there anyone? My friends, they're still here, calling my name. I feel their strength, I feel their pain. We're still alive, surviving the night. With them by my side, I'll keep up the fight. A voice in the dark, that's all that we need. I'll be the spark to set us all free. I'll make us be heard, our rights will be known. A voice in the dark, never alone. A voice in the dark, that's all that we need. I'll be the spark to set us all free. I'll make us be heard, our rights will be known. A voice in the dark, but never alone. Never alone.
Anger over the women's treatment results in President Woodrow Wilson expressing support for the suffrage movement, and the 19th Amendment is ratified in 1920. After being released, Lucy Burns continues to protest, spending the most amount of time in prison of any activist of that era. She spends the rest of her life taking care of her orphaned niece and volunteering for the Catholic Church. She dies in 1966, her impact reverberating throughout the feminist community, inspiring women to fight for equal rights to this day.
Whew. With suffrage came many changes to life in Fairfax. You see, not only did civil rights come to the forefront of the public consciousness, there was also a further push to try and,
I am done with this stupid show.
Hey Daniel, shouldn't you be getting ready for the Bunny Man number?
Yet no way, I am not singing one more song. I quit.
No, you are not quitting. We still have 5 more songs. Get backstage and get ready.
Do you realize we haven't said one single actually positive thing about Fairfax this entire show?
What are you talking about?
Well, we've spent the last hour singing about awful things. John Smith kicks the Native Americans off their land. We sing about it.
That
Henry
actually
Clay
happened.
and John Randolph try to murder each other. Guess what? We rip off Hamilton and we sing about it.
Rip off? Is
Yeah,
that what you
suffragists are tortured in what is now a hipster art center, and guess what? We sing about it. The only remotely positive thing we've sung about this entire show is the post office. And that was a slam poem. All this show is doing is perpetuating a narrative of revisionism that has captured our youth and is provoking us to only talk about the negative things about Fairfax's history.
I didn't understand any of the last part.
Well then, let me sum it up for you. This show sucks.
Daniel, how could you say that? We love Fairfax. It's our home, and we...
Our home? You don't even live in Fairfax. You're from Loudon.
Okay. Chris, stop. Just because I'm from Loudon doesn't mean that I don't love Fairfax any less than the rest of you.
Oh, please. You're only doing this for the money. You don't actually care about Fairfax.
That is not true. And you know it.
It doesn't matter. I'm sick of pretending that this is okay. I'm out of here. Sayonara, nerds. I'm gonna go home and watch Bob Ross.
Can I come?
No!
You know, you'd think he would have had this realization during the rehearsal process.
We can't let him leave. We're gonna finish this show if it kills me. Sam, you check the parking lot and I'll get the community center. Sorry
Gotcha.
about this, we'll be right back. Daniel!
Wait, what can I do? Hello?
Mark! Do something!
What?
I don't know, do something. Don't just jazz hands out of here. We still have a paying audience.
Can I do?
I don't know. Sing, dance. You're an actor. You have to have something.
But Can I sing the Sadie the Cow song?
Sadie the what?
Sadie the Cow. It was the song that Lauren thought was stupid and cut.
Does Chris know it? I don't care. Just sing something.
Okay. The year is 1925. The place, Herndon, Virginia. 25 years ago, most Fairfax's 18,580 residents lived on farms, producing dairy for the rest of the state. But with the invention of the electric trolley, more and more people begin working in neighboring D.C., while fewer and fewer people remain on farms. By 1925, most of Fairfax's 22,000 residents live in the town. Life is changing in Fairfax, but one symbol of Fairfax's dairy roots still remains. Sadie the Holstein cow. Once called the best-known Holstein in the world, Sadie has produced over 30 tons of milk in the past 3 years. But to her owner, Ben Middleton, Sadie isn't just a cow, she's a friend. Sadie, it's early morning, it's time for milking, so rise and shine. Sadie, the clouds are moving, it may start raining, move your behind. She's not a cow, well, she is a cow, but she's more than that, she's a friend of mine. What other cow could make me so proud? 'Cause Sadie here is a true bovine. She gives us milk more than we need, so we make butter for the whole county. She's of rare ilk, she's a proud Holstein. There is no cow quite like my Sadie. No, not like Sadie. I love this farming life, 'cause happiness is rife, all because of Sadie. Though profits have been down, and most folks live in town, but I don't blame my Sadie. The future may be scary, so I focus on dairy given by my Sadie. Though half the farms are gone, the dream still lingers on, 'cause I've still got my Sadie. Sadie, I think it's raining, I feel you straining, I think we're done. Sadie, go start your grazing. You did amazing. This weighs a ton. So what if Fairfax is modernized? I've got my farm and I've got my cow. I'll just relax and ignore the times, 'cause nothing can take away my Sadie. No, not my Sadie. My Sadie, you've been fried. I think she died. I just lost my Sadie. With one electric blow, my life is filled with woe. I just lost my Sadie. Can I move on now that my best friend's gone? Gone away, my Sadie. Maybe it's a sign to move on with the times, to move on from my Sadie. My Sadie, Sadie, Sadie. That's my song. Thank you for listening.
Okay, let's. Okay, just calm down.
No, you can't make me finish this show!
I am not going to make you. Okay. Just put your lightsaber down. I just want to talk.
Fine, we'll talk.
Why are you doing this? Why are you trying to ruin my show?
I'm not trying to ruin it. Look at Mark.
Yes, you are. You have been acting up all evening, which you never did in rehearsal, so what's the deal?
You know, Lauren, you're not the only one who loves Fairfax.
I know.
No, I don't think you do. You're from Loudon,
Okay.
which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But you didn't grow up here. You didn't go to the schools. You didn't go to the parades. You didn't have to deal with the awkwardness of living in the central part of Fairfax, which doesn't really have a name, so when people ask you where you're from, you say Fairfax, and then they ask, oh, what part of Fairfax? And you say the Fairfax part of Fairfax, and then they just nod their heads and pretend not to be confused. Where was I?
I grew up in Loudon.
Right. You love Fairfax because you've read about it in your book. You love it for the drama, the conflict, the history, but I love it because it's home. Because it's where I became me. Fairfax is me. Which is why I'm a little upset that you're only focusing on the negative things that happened here.
Well, look, you gotta admit that the negative things are the most theatrical. So
Look, I get that. But you need to step back and think about what Fairfax means to the audience, the people that live here. This isn't just a bunch of duels and conflicts, Lauren. Fairfax is their home. And you know what? It's actually a pretty great place.
I understand. I'm sorry, Daniel.
It's okay. It's okay.
Does this mean that you can finish the show? We still need you for the Bunny Man number.
We'll see.
All right. Well, they call us drama kids for a reason. Okay, right. Where were we? Yes, the 1920s. Starting in the 1920s, the population of Fairfax grew exponentially, transforming the county from a dairy land until a suburban wonderland. And with this growth came Fairfax's defining characteristic: horrible traffic. As early as 1924, traffic in Fairfax was awful.
Hey, Bimbo, move that jalopy of yours, will ya?
Quit your beef! Can't you see there's a dead cow in the road?
Well, paint me blue and call me the sky, you're right.
Things haven't gotten much better. But population growth didn't just lead to traffic. It also ushered in a new culture of Fairfax, one based on intelligence, technology, innovation, and an unrestrained hatred for Maryland drivers. And with culture comes folktales, the stories told by children around campfires late at night. Though there are countless legends concerning Fairfax, there is only one tale that gripped the imagination of the county, and that story is the Bunny Man. The year is 1970. Robert Bennett is back from the Air Force Academy with his fiancée, Susie to watch the Air Force Navy game. After the game, they go to visit Susie's uncle in Burke, where they spend the evening drinking and chatting. Several hours later, they return to their car, which is illegally parked at the 5400 block of Guinea Road. What better place for them to express their unending love for each other?
I am the luckiest man alive, sitting here and knowing I've got Susie in my life, and in just a few months she'll be my wife.
I am the luckiest girl alive. How could words ever describe the feeling of pure bliss every time me and my Bobby kiss?
The Air Force kicked the Navy's ass, so next week I'll be back in class. But while I'm gone, please don't forget that you'll always have the love of this cadet. It's 1970 and there's no other place I'd rather be, though I know I'm off to Academy. We're falling in love in Fairfax on the side of Guinea Road. I'll sing to you my romantic ode in the 703 area code. We're falling in love in Fairfax. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, baby, yeah.
Yeah, 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 falling in love. I'll love you till the day I die.
Bobby, you'll make me cry. How can I live without you here?
Don't worry, my love, I'll be back next year. Back next year. It's 1970 and tonight is just for you and me. It's time to set our passions free. We're falling in love in Fairfax. We only have tonight, 'cause tomorrow morning is my flight. Till then our love will reach new heights. We're falling in love, falling in love, falling in love in Fairfax.
Hey! You're on private property and I have your tag number!
We are so lucky to be alive. Why on earth do you think that guy threw a hatchet through my car? Who knew Fairfax was so bizarre?
Word of the Bunny Man incident spreads throughout Fairfax County as local law enforcement search for the costumed criminal, but to no avail. A week later, Paul Phillips, a private security guard for a construction company, comes across this same Bunny Man chopping away at a newly constructed roof just a block away from the initial attack.
Hey, sir, I'm gonna have to ask you to stop doing that.
All you people do is trespass around here! If you don't get away right now, I'm going to bust you on the head!
Well, geez, bud, don't get rough on...
Paul goes back to his car to grab his gun.
Ah!
But when he returns...
All right, bud, put your hands around... I can see... Oh, gosh darn it!
Despite their best efforts, Fairfax police are unable to identify the masked rabbit. Could it be a local teenager? An escaped lunatic? A farmer still grieving over the death of his beloved cow? There's no way of knowing until...
Fairfax County Police, how may I help you? You're the what? The Bunny Man? You mean the fellow that's been running around with the hat? Well, you sure have sent folks around here in a tizzy. No, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to... how can we help you? Sure, we can do that. What time? Hello?
As they prepare for a showdown, Fairfax police are wondering why the Bunny Man would give himself up so easily. What kind of madman would they find waiting for them in the woods? What they didn't expect to find was a man in the middle of an existential crisis.
Okay, calm down. Calm down, the police, they'll be here any second now, and I can tell them, I can show them all my grievances with this stinking little town. I didn't want this. I didn't want any of this to happen. I'm the son of a farmer. I work in a grocery store. I have a wife and kids. I'm not crazy. But sometimes you need to take a stand against time, against life, against home. This is not the Fairfax I know. Where did all the farmland go? No more horses, no more cows. All they've got are parkways now. I used to call this county home. Now it's all so monochrome. Just bricks, asphalt, concrete. The suburbs are complete. Fight the best I can with a hatchet in my hand. With each and every crime, I'm only trying to turn back. 1970, and I don't know my own county. This urbanizing's lost on me. They're tearing my Fairfax apart. I miss the starry nights, 'cause all I see are electric lights. The future's dim, the past was bright. They're tearing my Fairfax apart.
Guy is, Sharon. We've been searching for an hour.
I don't know. He could literally be anywhere. He didn't even give us a time to catch him.
Literally?
Well, yes. In fact, he could be here right now.
Jeez Louise, stop that. You know I'm afraid of the dark.
I'm sorry. I couldn't resist. You want a snack break?
Yes, please.
Man, aren't the stars just beautiful tonight?
Haven't seen him this bright in a while.
Reminds me of when I went camping as a kid.
Shame you can't see him like this every night.
Yeah. But they're still there when you need them.
They sure are.
All right. You ready to keep searching?
Sure, lead the way.
Am I wrong for holding on to what I know deep down is gone? Can I mourn what's disappeared and still be thankful for what's still here? It's 1970 and I think I've had an epiphany. It's time to end this villainy and fall back in love with Fairfax. Life changes all the time and that's what makes it so sublime. It's the same old song with different rhymes. I'm falling in love, falling in love, falling in love with Fairfax.
Alrighty, folks, we are back on schedule. We thank you so much for being so gracious with the waits. We're really sorry for the delays, aren't we, Daniel?
Yeah, fine, whatever.
Super convincing. Anyway, I hope you all buckle your seatbelts because we have one heck of a final 30 minutes to show you.
Lauren?
Yes?
It's 8:20.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. Alex, he's undoing this from the booth, and unless he's trying to say it's 2:08, which I just don't think it's right either.
Oh, no. You're right. We've gone over time. This is not good.
Why not? We can go over time.
Actually, we really can't. The James Lee Center is kicking us out at 8:30 to prep for a middle school production of Cats.
Well, I guess that means we just have to end the show now. Good night, Fairfax.
No, Daniel. We are not going to leave the past 45 years of Fairfax history unaddressed.
Well, then what exactly should we do?
Do a mega mix.
A what?
You know, a mega mix, like the end of Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat.
I never saw that.
That's
one.
Oh,
not
for
shown.
1
Why would I
second.
see?
Jeez Louise.
Bulova.
Is he getting out of?
No.
Who's gonna
do the lights?
The thing.
Thank you. No, please stop. Please stop.
You're in front of people.
Don't remind me. Okay, look. So at the end of Joseph, the whole cast gets on stage and performs this montage of all the songs from the show. It's big, it's loud, and the audience really seems to dig it.
So what you're suggesting is
What I'm suggesting is that we do a reverse mega mix. Which songs do we still have left to sing?
The government center one, the one about traffic, and Robert Hanson's, plus the closing number.
Okay, so just take all those songs and cram them into one big explosive musical finale.
Okay, a reverse megamix that might just be meta enough to work.
How would we even start it?
Maybe a little something like this. The year is 1992, and the Massey building is out of room. So a new center's built, and in summary, it's criticized for apparent luxury.
contractors and government officials meet to discuss the budget for the new Fairfax County Government Center. The head of the Board of Supervisors is not pleased.
A granite conference table?
Yes.
A massive obelisk?
Uh-huh.
You know there's a recession.
Right.
The public will be miffed.
Well.
Mahogany wood panels?
Yep.
And private elevators?
Yeah.
We can't afford this stuff, but what the heck, we'll pay it later.
The century now is the 21st, and traffic in Fairfax has gotten worse.
Dude, move your Prius! I'm late to the James Lee Center!
Cool it, lady. Can't you see that VDOT is doing road maintenance?
Huh. Well, paint me blue and call me the sky! You're right!
This is only going to be a temporary thing, right? It's not like they're going to spend the next 15 years tearing up the roads and disrupting traffic, right?
Blame Maryland.
The year is 2001, and Russian interference has only begun. There's a spot in Vienna called Foxstone Park where secrets are traded in the shady dark. It's Robert Hanson's walls of treachery. He sold our secrets to Russians. He made Vienna his dispensary, and oh my, the repercussions.
You should be surprised I'm an FBI guy who's usual yet and homie. I wanted more cash, so I did something rash, and you thought things were bad with Comey.
Hear that Russian woe. Fairfax County continues to grow. I love this.
Alright, why is Mark tap dancing?
It is a visual metaphor for Fairfax growing. You see, the increased speed of his tapping represents the increased speed of communication in modern life, while the complexities in his rhythm show that while we have grown far beyond our initial dairy roots, we are all the more beautiful for it.
Sounds like a lame excuse for a tap break.
Shut up, it's my show.